Hello, hello, hello. It's Knits for Sanity and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I am currently getting over another illness, and so I don't quite fully have my voice back yet, but I feel good enough to be able to do this completion reveal. A completion reveal both obviously of this canvas that I've completed, but I also want to talk about the Diamond Dotz Masterclass because this was part of that series and just a follow-up with my thoughts and opinions on that. I did do an unboxing of this back in December. I will try and remember to link to that video in the notes for this video. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to find if you go to my channel homepage. So yes, this is from the Diamond Dotz Masterclass. It is called Manual in the Christmas Robin Bag, as it says down here. It is a partial drill, meaning not the entire area is covered in drills. Instead, it's just some parts of this canvas are covered in drills. If you're not familiar with the Diamond Dotz Masterclass, first, definitely go watch the unboxing. But in short, it's meant to be a more challenging kit for diamond painters compared to your typical kits. One of the biggest ways in which this is achieved is through their use of micro dots, which this particular masterclass kit was very, very heavy on the micro dot use. So not only do you have little bits in the background, like this is all micro dot, and then down here, the rug portion, this is micro dot, but this whole interior of the bag, the entire Christmas robin tree, all the robins, all of Manual, they're all micro dots. From what I can see, not all kits are necessarily that heavy with the micro dots, but this one had definitely more, I do believe more actual square space of micro dots than regular size diamond dots. For other special drills, this kit was very, very minor, just these gold stars. Some of the other masterclass kits have a lot more by way of the different types of drills or special drills. This one just had those stars, and then of course a ton of micro dots. To start, a couple of things that I want to say right away. I attempted to use this kit exactly how it came to me. So when I did use my own materials or my own accessories, it was out of necessity, or it was after trying what I was given and deciding, this works and it would be fine, but I prefer what I have. So I did take the kit as it came to me, and I just kind of worked with what I was given. It's meant to be an all-inclusive kit. It comes pre-kitted up for you, and so that's how I wanted to approach doing this. And there will definitely be some commentary about that as well. All right, let's just start with the overall pros. The first thing, and I hope it should be even more obvious to you looking through the video camera lens, the rendering is fantastic. I adore this painting. It looks so, so good. I like the concept of the micro dots a lot. You can get so much more detail. Look at how detailed Manual's face is here. You clearly have the bicolor nose tip. His eyes are expressive. You get detail in a way that you just can't get with your regular size diamond dots. And that's because of, the micro dot aspect of this. When you have a dot that's much, much smaller, you are able to create more detail. It's more pixels. So the rendering is great. And I just think it looks truly amazing. One thing that I tend to talk about a lot, even though some people don't understand, but it's the glue pour and what I thought of the glue pour. In this case, the glue pour was fantastic. I never used washi tape to go around the edges of my canvas because the glue pour was everywhere that it needed to be and nowhere that it wasn't supposed to be. So the glue pour was great. I actually kind of really appreciate that. You know, I didn't have to waste washi tape going around the outside of this at all. And finally, it is a mostly usable, all-inclusive kit. Really, for the most part, I had no problem using the kit as it came to me, with two exceptions. One was just a huge headache, and the other one really, truly, I feel needs to be addressed, but I'll get to those in a minute. But otherwise, I loved that it was kitted up for me. I loved that I had everything I needed right there in the kit. And in the end, I am really, really satisfied and excited by this completion. It looks fantastic. Quick note on how I went about doing this. So the way that I worked this canvas is I actually laid all of the regular size drills down first, which included the entire border that goes all the way around. So it was the entire border. It was the entire bag portion of this kit, with a couple of exceptions right here where Manuel's face is. So like where his whiskers cut across the bag, there is some micro dot in here because of that. And there is some micro dot obviously in with the Christmas tree portion too, where it's still bag. But the outer edges of the bag, the gift as well, those are all regular size Diamond Dotz drills. So I started with those. Then I went through and I did like your outer edge micro dots first. And then you have just like 8 little bits up here. And then I went in and I did the long haul, which was all of the interior of the bag, and I finished with Manuel's face. That's how I did it. Okay, let's get into maybe some of the more cons. A couple of these really truly are cons in my book. The first thing that I think hands down needs to change with these kits is there has to be the addition of a paper legend or a sticker legend. There must be another legend outside of the 2 that you get on the side of this canvas. First, both of these legends point the same direction. So as you rotate the canvas, it makes it kind of difficult to figure out what is what here. Second, these legends don't let you know. These are your regular size drills, and the ones on the bottom, those are your micro dot drills. It doesn't tell you that. You have to figure that out. It is easy enough to do because obviously the symbol down here kind of keys you in, but you have the same symbols. It is still confusing. Like, so here you do have red with the black circle, which is 8335 in your regular Diamond Dot size. Down here you have the exact same symbol, and it's 8335 in your micro dot size. This is kind of a problem because, let me show you. Both containers look like this. All that's stamped on top of them is 8335. So it's very, very easy to look over and grab 8335 and get back here and realize, oh, darn it. These are my regular size drills, not my micros. So that is one problem with the legend. Another problem is it's always a two-way conversion. So first you see the symbol here, like you would see the black dot inside of red. You look over here, you go, okay, that's number 8335. Then I have to look over at all of my containers to find 8335. If there'd been a separate legend created with this, I could have made that into a sticker and posted the symbols on each of these containers. That would have helped cut down my search immensely. I could have made a note, you know, this container is your regular size dots, this is my micro dots. I would have had an easier time being able to read the legend. it needs a separate legend. It was a huge headache. Is it strictly necessary? No. I was able to complete the canvas. It was an absolute pain to do, however. It could have been far more efficient if I'd had a separate legend. So take note, if you do one of these kits, you are going to want to make a copy of the legend for yourself, put that in your diamond painting notebook, cut out each of these, stick them on these containers. There are things that you can do that will definitely make this a more fun, less tedious process for you. So, separate legend, desperately needed. And then the other part about this kit that really did not work. I'm going to put these away for right now. This is the other part of this canvas, of this kit, I should say, that really did not work. The micro dot drill pen. This kit, as I said, is mostly micro dots, which are much, much smaller, much more finicky to handle, and you really need a good drill pen. This is not it. For starters, it's just not comfortable. If you have been diamond painting for any length of time, you know that these original things that they come with are... These original drill pens are really just not that good. And particularly for something that is used so extensively on this kit. Also, again, these are all minor things, but this foam piece does not fit on here very snugly. This I could not use. It was uncomfortable. It did not work for me. So this I did end up replacing, and I had mentioned in my unboxing that my plan was I would be getting something else. I'd look around and find something, and I did. Let me show you what I ended up using. I found this on Amazon, and I will link to this in the notes to this video, but these are... I believe they are called like nail. I don't remember, but they are meant to pick up teeny tiny little drills or crystals that you do when you get your nails done. I've never ever actually had anything like that myself, but you see these women and they have just these gorgeous, gorgeous nails. Nail art. That's what it is. Nail art. So this is actually a pen that's meant for nail art, but this tip is perfect for picking up the micro dots. I was able to use the wax that came with my kit. That's all the wax I used. That's it. That's it. And I got 2 of these. And that's all the wax that I needed for the micro dot section. That was it. And it worked great. In addition, if I got sick of using this end, this side, this is another wax tip that does pick up the micro dots, or any drill for that matter. And this was kind of a nice reprieve. This particular pen came with, I think, 2 or 3 of these wax tips, because they do go flat after a while. So that, I mean, this worked really, really well. It was definitely more comfortable to hold. It's a little bit on the heavy side, a little bit on the narrow side, but compared to this, it was infinitesimally better. So I recommend picking up one of these, definitely, if your kit is like mine and really heavy with the micro dots. This needs to go. This was no good. Did not enjoy it. Now, about those micro dots, I know there were questions about how did they line up in the drill trays. I'm going to show you, but honestly, I had no problem or issue with it at all. So let me find... Here are some leftover micro dots. This is one container that has actually quite a few leftovers in it. A lot of these drills, I had enough. I did not run out. I know people had said that was a concern with other kits that they've gotten from the Masterclass series. I did not have that problem. I had enough drills. Some were cutting it kind of close, but I had enough to complete everything, so that was not a problem. But these drills, first I'll show you in their tray. So, as you can see, I mean, no, they do not line up, but it is, because they're so little, it was no problem for me to go through and just pick up what I needed. Even when surrounded by drills that were not turned over, it was no problem at all. I found really the same thing to be true in my Bella Art 3.2 tray, which I will show you here as well. They did actually line up a little bit better in here. So I think, you know, clearly if you can, I would go with a Bella Art tray, because they did line up better and it did work even better in here. But again, no, I mean, they're not going to line up perfectly because they're so little, but no problems at all with finding and picking up what I needed. None. But yeah, this was the preferred tray. So I did start out using this tray, like, okay, it works, but my Bella Art de Nicole tray was better. So I finished using this. But that, I wanted to show you a little demonstration, what it was like using the trays and how they lined up within those trays. Okay. Now the cons that were not deal breakers for me, those first two things were close to being deal breakers: the lack of additional legend and the really, really, really bad micro dot drill pen. Very close to being absolute deal breakers, and things that either Diamond Dotz Leisure Arts needs to change, or you need to be aware of it before you make the purchase and make the corrections for yourself, just in my opinion. Everyone does diamond painting differently, but for me, those were the two things that were just not acceptable. Now, the less important, more minor things, the first one was canvas roll. So no matter what I did, the edge of this canvas stayed rolled up. And I actually left, they're not sticky anymore, but I had to use washi tape on my canvas to secure down the ends when I would be working toward either end of the canvas. You know, the reason why it rolls up like this is because, in part, it is only a partial drill canvas, so you don't have the same weight of the glue and then the drills on here. And second, there is such a large border here between where the drills begin to where the canvas ends. And then with this being, you know, the heavier weighted surface, that just kind of naturally pulls this up. There's nothing that I could do to get this to lie flat. Minor, it really is minor. It was a small annoyance only when I was working on, you know, these outer edges of my kit. And then, like I said, I used some tape, and I'm going to actually remove that now. I used some washi tape to help keep it in place, and I was able to work around it. So just a minor little thing, definitely not a deal breaker. I loved the pre-kit up that's offered in these. You know, they all come ready to go in drill containers, which was awesome. I found this to not be the most convenient setup. There is a lot of wasted space using these foam inserts, and they all fit in this enormous gold box. And even if I take out, here's the 2 inserts that have, these are your shorter drill containers. And then I got a huge insert. And then you have this much larger insert. And this is your larger drill container. I just found this was kind of not, for diamond painting at home, maybe not the most convenient drill storage. My Elizabeth Ward containers work better. It's more condensed. They're easier to grab in and out. These can kind of get a little bit stuck in here, particularly because you got a little bit of suction going on. Like you can play a little bit of whack-a-mole sometimes with these, where you push one down and then another container pops up. For traveling, however, I feel like this is phenomenal. But I would never choose to kit up a canvas using this and using it at home. I would never choose to do it that way. That's, again, I mean, that's my opinion. It's not a great practical kit up, but, you know, coming to me already kitted was fantastic. So again, a minor thing, definitely not any kind of a deal breaker. And for travel, I do still think that it is a great idea. I found this back too. Hold on. This was in there. So this is what this came in. Just came like that. So it has its own little thing here. And it says it's a rhinestone pickup tool. So there you go for nail art. That's what it looked like. And yeah, three of these extra wax tips. And if you do nail art, there you go. You can use it for that as well. So I'll put these all back. Then another minor thing. Again, these are just being very detailed things that I want to point out so that you know ahead of time. I felt like the micro dot fit on the canvas was not always spectacular. The micro dots are so tiny, and in order to have a guide with symbol large enough, it's a balance. You need to find a balance. You know, let me see if I can blow you up and show you. All right, so if you look here, some of these micro dots I would play and I'd monkey around and I would force them to try and fit perfectly over these sections, and I just couldn't do it. And then you start seeing little bits of symbols or guidelines poking out from behind these drills. It's not terrible. I see some more over here. Mostly noticeable in the light sections. But now let me pull you back out. You don't see that from a distance, right? So that's the kind of thing that just kind of bothers you while you're working on it, because you're trying so hard to lay down this teeny tiny drill just perfectly. And sometimes the drill was simply just a hair too small that I could still see the black circle outlining it. One suggestion would be to maybe make those circles gray instead of black, so a slightly more muted color, but should still be dark enough for the human eye to handle okay. If you struggle seeing the regular size dots on a canvas, you are going to definitely want one of those magnifying glasses that you use and work through that. You're also definitely going to want a light pad. I have terrible distance vision with astigmatism, but my nearsighted vision is fantastic. So I didn't ever need to use either of those things, actually. I never used a light pad. I just used my naked eye and some decent desk lighting and I was able to lay the drills down okay. But definitely consider eye strain too. And I don't want you to have to go through that when there are tools out there that will make this much, much easier for you. So again, just a little minor thing that just while you're doing it, it can be really frustrating, but then you look at the final product and it's fine, right? You don't see that. Then I guess the last thing, so resin drills are going to have quite a bit of trash. That's just the nature of resin. But for this, micro dot drills are already so tiny and they had the most trash in them. I think because they're so tiny that even if you try and like sift out some of that trash, you can't do it because you'd lose the drills itself. And let's see if I can see this. This is just a teeny tiny handful. I don't know. Can you see? Like every single drill in here has a air pocket that was left behind in the top of the drill. This I found was a big problem in the micro dot drills. Now, I still had enough drills to complete my project, so it worked out fine. I also think we're looking at, this is a newer thing, and perhaps with improved technology, more trial and error, this will become less of a thing, less of an issue. But it wasn't, it's not just the number of air pockets in there. There's a lot of just teeny tiny little bits of trash that are in there too. But because you're working with a tiny little tip, it was hard to not pick up some of this other trash in here. Like that, this is a little bitty trash bit on the end there that, it would just come up with my drill pen. Again, minor, not a deal breaker for me. So that is my overall review on this whole thing. What is my final verdict? Good. My final verdict is good or a C plus, B minus grade is what I would give it. The reason why I'm giving it that kind of a grade is keep in mind, it's still a passing grade. It's average. It's an average grade. The reason is for the money you pay, you are expecting basically near perfection. At least in my mind. I feel like this is a $110 kit retail, I believe. I want to be completely wowed, not just from my unboxing with the big fancy gold box and seeing all the accessories, but during the entire work process, I want to be wowed. And I wasn't. And then the two things that were just a glaring oversight. The lack of additional legend on here, which made completing this painting more of a headache, particularly when each container is only labeled with the special Diamond Dotz number, which, keep in mind, is not a standard DMC code system. They use their own coding. So I'd have to translate 2 times over, from the symbol to the symbol over here, to the number on here, to the number on here. A huge pain in the butt. And then, of course, this micro dot drill pen, which for me is pretty much trash. Again, my opinions. So those things are what are giving me like that B minus C plus grade, just slightly above average, within that high end average range is where I am putting this overall experience. So, having said all of that, here are the 3 things that I would encourage you to keep in mind or do when you are considering purchasing from this series. First one, don't pay full price. Wait. They run sales. I got this one on sale. I think it was it like Black Friday, Thanksgiving Day weekend sale stuff? I believe it was. And I paid still quite a bit of money for it, but reasonable compared to what it is retail price. So first, just wait. If you can have the patience, just wait. Don't pay full price. I just don't think it's worth the full retail sticker value. Number 2, when you get this, first thing you're going to want to do, make a copy of this legend. Maybe make 2 copies of this legend and cut it all out. Arrange it in your diamond painting notebook. Make another copy. Cut out each of these little things. Make them into stickers. Put them onto the containers. It will save you a huge headache. Yes, the downside to that is it's an aspect of kitting up that, you probably were hoping you would not have to do. But it will save you more time in the end doing that step up front than just working from this legend. And finally, the third thing, get yourself a different micro dot drill pen. See my links below, or look up a nail art pin, and it should link you to something like this. So those are the 3 things that I really think you need to know before you start working on this. Otherwise, like I said, it's still good. I love the end product. And at the end of the day, this is what means the most, is what does this look like in the end? And I think it looks fantastic. Thank you for joining me. As always, I do love to hear from you. And have you done one of these kits? Were your experiences similar to mine? Were your experiences different from mine? Let me know in the comments below. As I always say, please practice patience and kindness. It's winter here in Michigan. Everyone's sick. We're all feeling a little bit grumpy. And so perhaps you are as well, which makes it even harder to just be kind. But if you can do it, it will make a really big difference for those around you and for yourself. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope you're healthy and warm, and I will see you again real soon.